what you don't see on other tutorials, because it took me a while to figure this out, is how to put text on things. And this is my not great latte art, but it's a hazelnut latte. And I must say, it's freaking delicious. But my latte has been giving me messages. And, you know, if you stare carefully at the bubbles, you can see the messages. And sometimes, you know, they're pretty good. But anyway, it's my hazelnut cocoa latte that is predicting the future. And we're going to show you how to do this soon, so you can make a latte of your own. Hey everybody, this is Sully with 5 freaking onion rings, and my hazelnut chocolate cappuccino latte, whatever you want to call it, has been talking to me, as you saw, sometimes a little disturbingly. Davinci 18, the beta out, has a new surface tracker, and we're going to go over that. But what you don't see on other tutorials, because it took me a while to figure this out, is how to put text on things. You know, text on things, because text is not something that you can normally map track, so that's okay. I'm going to show you how to write text and have it follow you around no matter what you're doing. So let's get started. All right, we're going to do this in real time. So I switched over to my MacBook Air because it is a little bit faster for some reason than a 2070 desktop. But anyway, you're going to drag your clip over, start a new timeline, select a point in that timeline where you want your words to appear. I'm going to just select this spot to do Control B or Command B if you're on a Mac. And I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So we now have a duplicate layer. Now pick out the words you want to say, go over to Effects, Titles. You want to use regular text. You can use text plus whatever you want really, but I like regular text. And we're going to type whatever we have. Now, I just learned recently you have to keep this in white because it's going to make a matte. And if you have anything too dark, that matte will not work. I will scale up size here just to make this easier to work with. Pick your font. Let's do that. Now that we have our font, we have our extra clip, we can go over to the color tab. If you notice, I did the color tab based on the text. We're going to grab a still. Open your gallery and you will see the still. You're going to right click on it and export. If you export as PNG, that's what works best for me. I always pick downloads just because that's easiest on a Mac, but put it wherever you want. And we're going to call this Hazel. You're going to go back to your media pool here. I always drag and drop. I'm a Windows person, so just drag your text over to here. Now that we are still in the color tab, we're going to go to Effects, Magnifying Glass. I just do Surface, SURF. Make sure you're on the right track because I was almost not on the right track. So we're clicking the right clip and still surface. We're going to drag it over. Don't drag it onto the node. You're creating a new node. Then drag it up till it turns yellow and that links it automatically. I like to go ahead and move my matte over. So that's where we go to the media pool, drag my hazelnut matte across. And even before tracking, I like to just link everything. So it's green goes to the bottom green, and blue, I take the bottom blue to the bottom blue. But anyway, surface, we're doing bounds. This is very simple. Surface tracker is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to click over here, go across, make our little outline of what we want to track. So that's tracked range in out. You're going to do mesh. You can already see my letters there, but you're going to do mesh. It will auto-generate a mesh with a ton of plot points, or it might have a few. If it doesn't have enough, you can do a uniform grid, and that actually works pretty well. And that will make big grid, in this case, not something you want to do because it will track points, and you want the fewest points possible that will make a good track. From there, you're going to the track tab. I use this left and right arrow because that will track to the beginning and the end. So if you're in the middle of your clip, it will track both ways and do 100% of your clip. Now, like I say, on a MacBook Air, I don't know if it's because of the AI or whatever you want to call them. Uh, what do you call that? I don't know. I don't know why, but it seems to be faster on the MacBook Air, which is so funny. The M1 chip with the logical cores, or no, what's it called? Not the AI cores, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it seems to be faster on that than it is on my desktop with the 2070 Super. See, already done. And from here, we're going to results. And as you can see, you can't see my whole thing. So if you click overlay placement, you have interactive canvas. I can drag my canvas down to an appropriate size. This will also change the plane that you're on. So it makes it a little bit easier if you want to make it look like it's on the right plane to drag down. Now, sometimes my grid doesn't show up correctly, in which case you can use sliders and do that way. And that's fine. Uh, let's see. But I like this. I think this looks good. So from here, I like to do overlay as a composite, but you can just click compositing, choose the one you like. I like overlay because it gives a tiny bit of, it just looks like an overlay. It looks like it's written on top, and that's what I want. And from here, we can go back to the Edit tab and look at our glorious hazelnut. Now, you may wonder, why did I duplicate? You can do this all on one track. It's not a big deal. But if you're wondering why I duplicated, it's because I just wanted to be able to drag in and give a soft in and a soft out so that when I play, it will come on and play through and come off. Now you can do that for any type of surface, any type of anything you want, and it tracks. You can replace logos on shirts. You can do pretty much anything. It's amazing, but you can use whatever words you want. This is how you get text to show up. If you try to use video, if you try to just scroll text onto it, it can't because it's showing text as a video. So it's not as a still clip, so it's not doing a matte. The other thing I wanted to show you is I record this on a gimbal and it's smooth enough, but if you wanted to actually do the stabilization, if you just stabilize the clip, you're going to get something weird. And depending on how long this takes, oh, it takes no time at all. So if you're just stabilizing the clip, you'll see it did a little bit of a zoom, but what you'll notice is that it doesn't track right anymore. And so that's frustrating because it zoomed a little bit, it changed that the stabilization does not work when you're doing that. So turn that off. If you do want to stabilize, I want my zoom in, my zoom out, or my fade in, fade out. So I have that looking like I want. Then I want to highlight my 2, do a compound clip. It's going to create one. And now you can stabilize your compound clip, and that will make it stable. So if you end up doing this and you decide later you want to stabilize, just make sure you have everything says a compound clip. You cannot stabilize text without it being a compound clip. Otherwise, it will go wonky on you. That's exactly how this works, and it's amazing. I love this. I love this. The only effect I like better than this is the new depth map, and I'll have a tutorial out on how to use it. But if you stick around here, I have something as a favor to ask. I want to thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. I hope it's something you will use in the future. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you know of a place to donate hair, I'm looking at wigs for kids because we are returning to the office, which means my 2-year experiment of not cutting my hair is about to come to an end, and I want to donate it to someone who could use it. I'm thinking wigs for kids, but if you know a place, drop it down below. And yeah. And my gimbal is funny because it will follow me, but it's tilted. And that's very frustrating. I don't know why it's tilted, but Whatever. I'm a tilted person anyway. Y'all have a good one.